Welcome to the both of you. Thank you for joining us today. All right, welcome there on Instagram. We would like to apologize to everyone who is on Facebook Live, who is probably waiting for that live video, as we usually go live every Friday. We are having some kind of technical glitches right now, and we just wish to apologize to everyone there on Facebook today. We will be sharing the link, our YouTube link, because we are recording, and we will definitely share it to YouTube as we always do. I will post the link later for you there on Facebook if you were waiting. Also for our viewers who usually join from YouTube and go to Facebook or Instagram, please be on the lookout for that link today. I will definitely be sharing it. Okay, once again, you are welcome. I also want to acknowledge one of our partners who is here with us, Ms. Nozipho Tlali from YDT, apologies, from Nozipho Tlali Attorneys. She is our partner with YDT Group. Welcome to you, ma'am. Without wasting any further time, as the time is now 12:39, I want to give over to our CEO, Mr. Yapela Tlali, to start with his presentation today. Mr. Tlali, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I am here.
Awesome, we are excited about today.
All right, thank you very much. I was trying Facebook for the last time just to see if something will give this time, because there is quite an audience and a following that side, and it might be a serious outcry should we not be able to go live. It's still giving me the error. It's still giving me the error, so we're not sure how to resolve the error. So nonetheless, here we go. We will just post the video. We'll just post the video live on Facebook, or rather afterwards, after we are done. And today, the beautiful part about today is that we are not going to be long at all. So it makes it then much better that everybody could not connect on Facebook, and then they can watch it at their own convenient time. All right. Here we go. All right, today's topic, thanks for everyone for joining in. I see people are coming in on Instagram as well. And I'm just gonna go straight to it, to sharing the screen. I will just thank the people that are here on this side on Zoom. I see Bafana is here, I see Ella, I see a couple of people here, but it's all right, we're here. Let's do this. All right, now, here is today's topic that we're going to touch on today. And the webinars, in any case, activities are becoming more, and the webinars are becoming longer. We had some concerns, some requests, and we are responding to them, that the webinars take a bit longer time. So therefore, we need to perhaps see if we cannot shorten them. So what I think we're going to do, we will start doing videos, shorter videos that people can watch at their own convenient time. I think we will then start slowing down and eventually stop the webinars. And then we will go straight into the videos that will be loading on YouTube, because at least people have subscribed there. If you have not, please go subscribe on YouTube. And we will also be loading them on our Facebook page, on Twitter, on Instagram, so that people can get to watch this video. We will also be sending them to circulate via WhatsApp as the time goes by, the shorter videos, so that people can just watch at their own convenient time from wherever they are. Now we continue with our normal way of doing things. We start with interpreting the market. Now we are going to interpret the market. Just as it is, we do this every week, and I'm sure by now everybody knows, understands, and accepts it. And at least people are now aware. I've been meeting a couple of people since the webinars have started, or since we've consistently been doing the interpretation of the market, and they've been asking me questions around the markets. And today's topic is basically informed about the questions that people have been asking me, because people are now starting to really interpret the market, and I'm liking it because now things are getting into, people are getting into the mix of things. I'll just go through and browse through these slides that we do every week, to the factors that influence the market up until it gets into other people, but it's going to get in, I know, and it's getting into many people. The interest rates, they influence the market because people need to check, can they afford to pay or not? The lockdown or the trade, therefore, influence the market, how active is the market? And then the economy, which was expected to contract by 7% at the beginning of the year, in South Africa, 5% globally, and the estate agents. And then now what is now happening is the same as it was last week. The current markets, the economy has contracted, meaning it has shrunk. It has decreased already by 7.3%. The latest statistics, I was just waiting for them to be out, but it looks like it's already at 7.4 now. But I will not make it official until it is made official by the Reserve Bank. And it's still expected or anticipated or projected to can even go as far as 10% possibly later. And then the interest rate is now standing at 7% as it is today, but it started at 9.75% in January. The repo rate is 3.5%. It started at 6.5%. And now for those who perhaps might have missed the previous one, a repo rate is what the Reserve Bank charges the banks for the money they borrow from them. And then the interest rate is the base rate or the foundational rate that the other banks get to charge us. And then they charge from 7% upwards or downwards, depending on how good your credit record is. The estate agents are back. That has been now very clear. Banks are continuing to still fight over transactions. And it still is a buyer's market. They've got the upper hand. It's open up for everybody's market. Buyers now need more to be educated now more than ever. So that's the part that we do every week. I'm sure by now everybody understands it. And then this is the type of property we go for every time when we buy. We're looking for what we call in YDT Group a day one asset, meaning this property is an asset and the first day you buy it. We've already discussed and concluded that a property is not necessarily automatically an asset, mostly if it is not giving you income. So if it is not giving you income, it is a liability up until it starts giving you income. So the house that you live in, if you are paying a bond for it or in any form of it, in any case, it is a liability. It only becomes an asset when it is giving you something, when it is giving you income. So we always encourage people to buy a day one asset from YDT from the first day. That is a property that is making profit from day one. That is a property that is a right purchase. That is a property that is in the right location. That is a property that is the right price from day one, from the time you buy it. In other words, if I were to sell from day one, how much would would I make profit? Even if I were to sell tomorrow and I bought today. That's the type of purchases that we're encouraging. Normally this would be a Q&A session. I'm not gonna stop Tiamo, I'm just gonna run right through it because I've already said that we're going to run very short, very quick today. So I'm just gonna touch on the questions that I've been having or I've been receiving, whether through our appointments, consultations, clients, feedback that we're getting. And those questions are basically entitled as what informed today's topic, if I can put it like that. To say, already made mistakes, now what? In other words, you did not buy a day one asset. You've already made these mistakes that we are saying you must try by all means to avoid making. Now what? What now that I've already made this mistake? Now, these are the common mistakes. We're only gonna stick to this slide and I'm gonna answer this quite out and openly. It's a pity that we cannot engage with the audience on Facebook because that is a platform that I believe people would have had a chance to even ask further questions, because I know when you address mistakes, concerns, or questions, sometimes people already have follow-up questions in the process. But nonetheless, I know you'll get in touch with us through our social media platforms, and you will then ask us those questions there, and we'll be glad and we'll be more than happy to assist you. Now, these are these questions. You did not buy a day one asset, meaning it's a non-day one asset that you bought. You bought at value, or you bought a wrong location, or you let your credit record become bad, or you bought at the wrong price, or you are already charging too low rentals. Your rentals are already too low and you've got these tenants already inside. So the way we are going to do it now is I'm just gonna stick to this screen, and then I'm just gonna answer those questions on this screen only. And then if then here on Zoom, other people then do have questions, they come up and they have questions, then we'll take those questions. Tiamo, I hope everyone is, I hope you're ready for that time. Okay, now you've not bought a day one asset. Now remember, on the day one asset, there are many reasons that, there are many things that make an asset a day one asset. And of course, that automatically means there are many things, of course, that can make your property not a day one asset. And where and how, what informs these mistakes, mostly on the day one asset part, is that for years, which was the norm, for years, people, when they were buying property, they were told that it is going to take plus minus up to 2 years for your property to start giving you income, or for you to break even. In other words, your monthly expenses were always higher than your monthly, higher than your monthly income. So what would happen is calculations were done. People were not, I wouldn't say people were not wise or anything. No, that's what the market was. That's how things work. There were no new innovations. There were no new ways of thinking. Or must I say, the Adelas of this world have not yet come around. I'll say so myself. So the monthly expenses were always higher than the income. And then when they would come together to be equal, we call that a break-even point. So break-even point would only be reached after 2 years, meaning now 2 years of the rental increasing by 10% every year and ultimately catching up with the expenses. And of course, hoping that the monthly expenses don't increase too much, the interest rate does not become too high and all those things. And of course, most of the things, this and the expenses were generally, should I say, remain standard, or they would not jump out of the ordinary often like now. So that is what it was. So people were accustomed to that. And as a result, for a long time, it was believed that investment properties are only for the rich people. For people that have got extra money, they don't know what to do with it, and then you buy because now for these 2 years you must subsidize the expenses of this property until it starts to take care of itself. Now, most of the people who have made this mistake of non-day one asset come out of that era. Or others, it is people that were not advised when they did it, and they just bought a property because all they knew, they needed to buy a property, and they contacted an agent who just showed them the list of properties that were there, and they chose which one they want. They signed papers, applied for their house, the bank approved, life moved on. So in other words, there was no due diligence or the things that YDT Group does when they assist you that were done in that process, and then a person ends up buying a non-day one asset. And now, how do you come back from that? Look, it's going to depend. Remember, day one asset, some of these things, the points like wrong location, wrong price, already cover some of those things. Some of the things that make it a day one asset. The one I'm just going to cover now is if you have bought at a high price. You have bought at a high price, which is now, part of it is wrong price, but I want to put the price, and how do I put it? I want to, I'm combining the price and the holistic deal, but mostly focusing on the price on the non-day one asset. So I'll be hitting two at once. Now, what happens there is you bought this property, it's worth 500,000. You bought it at exactly 500, or somebody misled you and went to an auction and you kept taking the price up, and you bought for 500,000, not being aware that there will be commissions on top, transfer fees, and you ended up spending 550,000 on this 500,000 property. Now what? Okay, now what then I would say is, for non-day one assets and low rentals, I would say now is the best time to offload those properties. If you want to sell, look, there are two options. If you are able to keep up now, don't sell it, keep it, because then you are going to be able to turn it into a day one asset very soon. We can assist you in doing so. However, if your situation is so bad, right, that you need to sell the property, I would say sell the property right now. Now is the best time to sell as well, because the market is active. And remember, we had said the market is going to take a dip. So you want to sell now, because when the market takes a dip, competition is also going to be tight in terms of rentals as well. Yes, the rental demand is going to increase for a certain period, but there's going to come a time where during the downturn, with the rental demand, the increase of the rental demand is going to hit the roof. Now, at that time, then you will not have much room to play around, to can be able to get your income to equal your expenses. Now, but then if you'd like to offload, now is the best time to offload, because at that time there will be lesser buyers, so it will not be easy for you to get the right price, because if you already bought too high, chances are you will not have room enough to be able to negotiate to drop the price so that you can sell. So I would say now is the time then to let go of your property. Now is the time, put your property on the market. Do not do a sole mandate. Put it on an open mandate, though you can limit the estate agents that can sell. Of course, you don't want it as well to be overpopulated, because then some people get scared, why is this person wanting to sell so bad? So you still limit the number of agents, maybe to 3 or 4 estate agents that are selling your property, but get it out there now. They must market, because remember, the market is now active. So you as the seller is the best time to sell a property that you would like to get rid of. Now, second point is the wrong location. You bought this property in a very, very wrong location, and it is there, and now there's nothing you can do. Now, there are two things that you can do about it. I'll make an example of what a location can be. There is just a recent property that one of my clients wanted to buy, and this property is one of the small towns within the Free State, and they wanted to buy this property, and they were willing to pay just around 300,000 for this property. Now, the town is not a very property sale active town. It's not that active. So they wanted to pay 300,000, and their main reason was to rent out the property. Now, and with that property, when I went and I did an assessment, and while I was in consultation discussing the thing with them, we discovered they could get about 5,000 to 6,000 rands a month for rentals. Now, on a normal situation, that is good, because that would be an immediately day one asset. Even that one would be a day one asset in terms of the income now, the rental incomes on the purpose they wanted to do. However, because that town is not active in sales, should they want to sell, they would have to sell below what they bought for, which makes it a non-day one asset in that regard. So I advise them to say, no, the location is too bad for this price. You can buy in this location, but buy way less, so that should you need to sell, you do not end up losing capital on the property that you've invested. You understand what I'm saying? So wrong location can also affect your property being a day one asset, or in terms of long term as well. So do not go for a wrong location. Now you've already gone for it. The best thing is try to sell now again, I would say, because this market is the best time now to sell. Remember, we're in between. We're coming from a lockdown where there was no activity at all. Now there's super good activity right now, and it is anticipated that in the near future, there will be no good activity, because the market is going to, should I say, go down. So therefore, now is the best time to buy, because we don't know what's going to happen beyond the market going down. We understand, or how long it will take for it to recover. So I would rather then say the best thing is then to sell that place now, unless you are in it for the long haul. If you are in it for the long haul, remember, even in wrong locations, the value increases. However, it might not increase as fast as the right locations, if I can put it like that. So if you are in it for the long haul and you've already made the mistake or you've already bought the property, then hold on. You're in it for the long haul, hold on, maximize your income so that you can, if you bought through a home loan or a bond, so that you can quickly pay it off faster, so that should you really need to sell much later, you are forced by a situation and you have already decreased your bond, you understand? So that then you don't get to lose. All right. And then the bad credit record, I will not discuss that one in detail. I'll just say, come to YDT Group. YDT Financial Advisors is currently rehabilitating a lot of credit records that were not good previously. And then the wrong price. The wrong price, like I said, it goes with the first one, the non-day one asset. The wrong price, you then can decide to say, am I going to hold on a little bit longer or am I letting go? Now, in the wrong price, there are other ways you can do, like we touched on it when we were touching on how to increase your rental income. There are other things you can do to make sure that you counter the wrong price. You've already bought with the wrong price. Now you need to counter the income. Sometimes what then I would recommend you do, you use that property as the, should I say, the cash cow, or as the property that is going to give birth to others and then you let go of it, or a property that you are going to take it as a learning curve but maximize it and then let go as soon as you can. So what I would say is you continue to burden that property with debt if you can't let go of it. You continue to burden it with debt depending on the location. If the location is perfect, then you maximize the credit on it. In other words, your bond, you maximize the bond on it. Because then if it's in a good location, it means you can sell it at normal price when you need to sell. So you burden it with debt so that you can quickly branch out from it. These are some of the answers, could go very technical. So I'm just gonna touch base so that a person can just understand that there is hope. There is something that I can do to get out of this situation. Or you can just do with the wrong location and just decide I'm in it for the long haul. Let me make sure that it becomes a day one asset, though I bought it with a higher price. So let me maximize on my income so that my income reaches and exceeds my expenses so that I don't feel the wrong price that I bought with as soon as possible so that then I can continue with it. And then lastly, before we go, is that the low rentals. You've made a mistake with low rentals. I've seen it a lot. I've seen it a lot happen, mostly recently. And the most people that make this mistake, it's the people that are saying, I am going to manage my property myself. I don't want an estate agent. I don't want an attorney, or I don't want anybody helping me to manage my property. I'll do it myself. Now, what happens in that instance, and this is what leads to people ending up giving the property a low income. They said they don't need an estate agent, they don't need anybody else, they can do it. They get, let's say it's a property with that you can be able to have 3 tenants in it. The first tenant comes, then they feel motivated that I can continue by myself. And then it takes time to get the second tenant. And then remember, this person is just a property owner, and this person is not investing in property. They're not used to this thing. They know perhaps how to do it. It's the average knowledge. Now they've got something else they're doing, which is their day-to-day job or what brings income for them, their business. And they're focusing on it. And while they're focusing on it, they do not market this thing. They just decide, let me put a Facebook post and let's see who's going to come and rent out my place. And then they realize 2 months later, I'm losing income. And then people start to say, hey, no, look, man, maybe let's say they wanted 3,000 for each of those people. Then they say, hey, somebody comes along who says, no, I can take, my budget is only 2,000. And then now they're realizing I'm losing income. And then they end up accepting it. They end up accepting the 2,000 because now they're running out of time. They're realizing the expenses because every month now they must just keep paying the expenses. They must pay the body corporate. They must pay the municipal rates and taxes. They must pay the water account, whatever they need to pay. Now they get to decide on the price based on the needs that are there, because the needs are speaking louder. The pressure is speaking louder. Now they start to lower the rent up until the third person. So that's basically just typically one of the examples of how when people self-manage properties that they end up accepting and ending up with low rentals. And the other mistake they make is that they then put in a family member and a friend or somebody that is close by who really needs accommodation, and they are the ones who can assist with accommodation to this person. And those are then they end up taking less things because now they could not, should I say, work out a higher rental income, or they wanted to do a favor for this person, or they are desperate. So, which is why I would always recommend to use a professional. Mostly for rental incomes, you do not, for rental collections, you do not want to do it yourself at all. Because what happens is you have got should I say, the Ubuntu part, the Ubuntu part of you. And now when somebody calls and they say, sorry man, I can't pay rent this month, the person who was paying rent for me lost their job, you will understand. But bottom line is your expenses, the bank did not understand. The following month they pay, but they are 1 month behind. Now it's putting a strain on your income. Few months later, somebody passes away. They come and they tell you. I'm just making an example of valid reasons that would make you, as a normal person, to accept and understand. Somebody passes away and they have to take care of this funeral. Now they can't pay rent. However, when a professional is doing it, that is none of their business. They collect rent that they're supposed to collect. The person does not pay their issues. Will there be months or so that a person don't pay even when you use professionals? Yes, but professionals will make sure you recover quicker than when you're doing it yourself. You understand? Now, what then do you do when you've already gotten yourself into this low rental crisis? Simple. We've done a lot. I think we've done so many properties in the last couple of months that were like this. What then you do, number one, you introduce a professional to the people. You introduce a professional to the people who's going to start making things official and professional. Secondly, be willing to add some value. Be willing to add extra value into the property so that justifies what you are about to do next. Add some value. Paint those walls that you've been promising to paint. Fix those maintenance issues that have been nagging and you've been saying I'll do them, but you couldn't because the rent is so low. Do all those things that we're supposed to be doing, depending on how big they are. You don't have to go all the way up front, but you do that just to add value to the thing, introduce a professional, and then let the professional sign new lease agreements and take it from there. And whoever then that cannot keep up, the professional will make sure the place is let up from the beginning. The other alternative, which what some other people usually do, I've seen 1 or 2 people do it, because what happens is there also is an instance where the rent was so low, that maintenance was so poor, that the property condition is going to take a lot of money to get it back to where they can charge normal rentals. Then you let go. You count that as a loss. Sometimes you do that in property. You do make losses. And you can avoid that by following what we've been advising on the webinars and doing everything. But if then you are already in a situation and you have to make a loss, then you make a loss because you are the one who didn't maintain the property. You are the one who accepted the low income rentals. Then you let go as soon as possible. And again, I will say, now is the best time to let go when as a seller as well, to sell because the market is currently active. And then you will be able to meet buyers like YTT or any other buyers who would come across and say, it's fine, we'll take this property from you, we'll remove your burden, and then we will see what to do with it ourselves from there going forward. I think that's about it, Tiamo. I will hand it over back to you for if there are any questions and for us to wrap it up. I promised today was going to be shorter or not as long as usual. So I want to say thank you. Back to you. Then we'll just take the questions and then address them.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Dlali, for today's session. It really was short and I want to commend you for that. I think today we've reached a new record of the short video that we've been promising. So congratulations. All right, I just want to read the notes that I've been making as you were going. And this is the comment that I put out on our Facebook and our Twitter, just to inform our followers of what today's session is about. I just said that in today's session, Mr. Dlali is tackling a scenario where we make the mistake of not buying property for investment purposes. The property you're paying bond for and living in right now is not an investment. And in today's webinar, he's offering solutions that can help you improve this property into an investment. Mr. Dlali, can you please just give you a quick input as to whether that, did I make the right notes, or did I miss something there?
I would say instead of using the word investment, use the word asset.
Okay.
Let's use the word asset, but your notes are correct. I'll just say, let's just change the word investment to the word asset. So that it gets the meaning of what I've been trying to teach everybody, to differentiate between an asset, non-asset, investment, you understand, liability, and so forth. Yes.
All right, thank you. I also want to quickly welcome the people who just joined us. You are most welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Mr. Dlali, I wanted to ask you if you are seeing anything on Instagram on your side, because on my side, I am busy trying to engage on Facebook with our followers to see if anyone has left any comment, and if anyone was able to join us on our Instagram Live.
All right. Instagram Live, we have people that have joined, but I'm not seeing any comment from this side that perhaps maybe is a question or anything. I'm just going to check there's something here. No, someone is just saying they're live. We are watching, but there's nothing beyond that. So there are no comments on Instagram. I think we can ask the questions. If there are no questions, then let someone close it and make it short, because the questions can make the video long for the people that catch up on YouTube. Yes.
That is true. At this moment on our Zoom, we don't have any question as yet. However, I like to give people a couple more seconds to type their question quickly, or switch on their mics, or raise their hand here on Zoom. So I'll give it 5 seconds.
I'm very literal. So when you say 5 seconds, I'm counting 5 seconds.
It's gone. It's gone. Okay, Mr. Dlali, can you please just wrap up today's session? The time is now 13:10. So
wow, okay.
Congratulations.
I'm going to wrap it up even faster so that the webinar can be short. Okay. I'm just going to wrap it up by saying thanks to everybody for tuning in, for joining in. We will then be slowing down on the webinars. Ultimately, and soon enough, we are going to stop the webinars. We will introduce shorter videos. The only difference is that they will not be interactive live, of course, but they will be as informative. So it will be shorter videos that a person can watch at any time. It will be less data, or it will cost less on the internet, so that people can choose a subject matter that they want to look at. So we'll just break down some of the topics that are outstanding and even previously discussed topics into just shorter videos that will be on YouTube and everywhere, so that people can then go and watch them at their own convenience. But we are still here. We are continuing with everything in terms of assisting people. And thank you very much for being with us during this time, and for the support, for lending your ears. However, we continue offline. Thank you very much. I think that's basically about it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Dlali. As we wrap up, I just want to encourage everyone to please go to our YouTube, check it out, catch up with the sessions that you have missed up until now. And remember that today's session will also be uploaded. We'd like to apologize for the people who were waiting for our live video there on Facebook. We apologize once again. As we did say, we experienced technical glitches. Apologies about that. Thank you to everyone who joined us. The time is now 12, the time is now 13:12. This is our new record of the shortest webinar ever. Thank you. God bless you. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.